Before us is an early version of a theme that El Greco returned to again and again throughout his life. This is the purification of the temple, painted in Venice on the eve of his move to Rome. And it is here that we see how the young artist, searching for his own style, still looks back significantly to his great predecessors. El Greco emphasizes this theme with the words of the Gospel of John. "Take these things away from here, and do not make my Father's house a market." It is this stern tone that fills both the painting and our imagination of the moment of cleansing the sanctuary. In the center is Christ, who with a decisive gesture drives out the merchants and money changers. His movement is reminiscent of Michelangelo's drawings, strong, sculptural, tense. The architectural background consists of majestic arches and columns in the Roman style, symbolizing the temple in Jerusalem. This space creates a sense of monumentality, as if we ourselves are entering another era. And the figure of a woman with a yoke and a child, appearing from the side, refers us to Raphael's tapestries. The high Renaissance school is evident here. But the most intriguing detail is in the lower right corner. There we see four male portraits that do not belong to the biblical scene at all. These are masters whom El Greco revered: Titian, Michelangelo, Giulio Clovio, and the fourth image is still controversial. Some say it is Raphael, others say Correggio, and still others say it is the young El Greco himself. Imagine this gesture. The artist places portraits of those he considered his teachers and spiritual mentors in the temple arches. This is not just a tribute. It is a kind of dialogue in which he includes himself. The influence of Titian can be felt in the colors, rich but balanced. The influence of Tintoretto in the dynamic composition, bubbling with movement. And the central scene with Christ emphasizes the main point. The temple is a space of purity, and no commerce can reign there. Today, this work is kept at the National Gallery of Art in Washington. It is one of the key works in understanding the artist's early career. Its real value is practically impossible to estimate. After all, it is a museum treasure. Standing in front of this painting, we feel not only the biblical drama, but also the ambition of the young El Greco, the desire to enter the pantheon of the greats and eventually stand alongside them. Before us lies a city rising above the river like a vision. Toledo emerges from the north under a heavy, almost electric sky. In the foreground is the Alcantara Bridge over the Tagus. Above, it is the Alcazar Fortress and the towering figure of Toledo Cathedral. On the left bank stands the castle of San Servando. The horizon line is raised so high that the city looks like a slender column stretching up to the sky. The light does not fall, it streams as if from within the city itself. El Greco deliberately shifts reality. Some buildings are transplanted from their real locations, not to deceive, but to capture the essence of Toledo, its character and spirit, rather than its topography. El Greco does not copy reality, he reinterprets it. This is the first landscape in European art where nature becomes a symbol of divine power and human fragility. This is late mannerism in its purest form. The stormy sky is the master's favorite motif, and the landscape itself is rare for Spanish painting of that time and one of the first to become a symbol of the city rather than its plan. The painting was created in the last years of the artist's life, when he had already completely departed from the canons of the Renaissance. It had no analogues in its era. No one before him dared to depict the city as a metaphysical image. Today, this work stands alongside Van Gogh's Starry Night as a symbol of art that has gone beyond the boundaries of reality. Hold your breath. Before you is a canvas where the earth and sky converge so closely that only an angel's breath remains between them. This painting is El Greco's calling card. At the bottom is a burial scene, where two saints, Saint Stephen and Saint Augustine, bow over the body of a virtuous caballero in mirrored armor. Around them are the restrained faces of the Toledo nobility, witnesses to the miracle. On the left stands a boy pointing the way with his gaze and gesture. This is Jorge Manuel, the artist's son. On his handkerchief is El Greco's signature and date of birth. The master himself can be recognized in the crowd, above the hand of the Knight of the Order of Santiago. Now look up. The Count's soul, like a newborn light, rises through a shimmering stream to Christ and the Virgin Mary. It is this Assumptio Anime that makes the composition not two-story, but a complete vertical of salvation. Before us is not just a 14th century legend about how the saints buried the benefactor of the parish with their own hands. It is also a document of its era. Priest Andres Núñez commissioned the work for the side chapel. The contract was signed on March 18, 1586, and the fee was set at 13,200 reals after evaluation. Already in 1588, people went to church to see this miracle of painting. The painting became a treasure of the temple and a manifesto of the Counter-Reformation. It reminds us that good deeds and faith lead to salvation. Today, it remains in the same place for which it was painted, in the church of Santo Tome, attracting thousands of pilgrims. In summary, we can say that in Christ driving the traders from the temple, we experience a moment of purification as a drama of future salvation. In view of Toledo, we see a city that has been turned into an icon of the sky. In the burial of the Count of Orgaz, the earth touches the sky so closely that faith becomes visible. And each of these works is not just a page in art history, but a living scene that you want to look at while standing nearby, as if you can still hear the ringing of coins, the thunder over Toledo, and the soft rustling of angel wings.